Cool.
You always will get stuck in. Oh, I was talking to Clement.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Diabloherald. This is a podcast where we talk about all things Diablo related and regional issues for Australia and New Zealand, which no one else really talks about because no one else is from Australia or New Zealand. Today I have with me Patrick, also known as Highlander. How are you today,
everyone.
Patrick?
I am good.
That's good.
I am overwhelmed with anticipation
And excitement.
and excitement and a whole bunch of other issues that have come out of my pre-Diablo prep.
Cool. Okay. Today Curtis is here also, weightless. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
That's good. Excited for the game?
Yes, everything's finally going right for me. My computer's been screwing up for the last week and I couldn't install Diablo or couldn't download it properly, but it's all just started working like the last 2 days, so I'm pretty stoked.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my computer started playing up today and I was tearing my hair out, wondering what was going on, but I just restarted it and then it was fine. So I should probably do that more often. Well, in today's show, we are going to talk about the game stores go into administration, guild support in Battle.net, which is coming to the StarCraft expansion. Diablo 3 has broken pre-sale records, competitive PvP in Diablo. We also have some more skill combos to tell you about, and a few other cool things. So without further procrastination, I will start the first topic, which is the game stores. So they went into administration. Basically, what that means is that they have no money, they can't afford to pay their bills. Apparently, they couldn't pay their shipping company or something, so they didn't receive any of the standard copies of Diablo 3, which is bad news for anyone that pre-ordered it at game. Where did you pre-order it, Patrick?
I went EB.
That's right.
Mainly because they were supposed to have the midnight launch that didn't eventuate, but I feel glad I went that way now.
Yeah, definitely. But you got the CE version, which
Yes.
apparently game has still received. So anyone that got the collector's edition will still be getting the collector's edition from what I've read. But the standard edition, you should probably buy it somewhere else, because I doubt it'll be turning up.
Well, they said that they had the shipment, a lot of people getting shipment notices this morning, and so if it's in ship and it's out of game's possession, then you should be okay.
Yep.
But if you were planning to do an in-store pickup, I'd want to be there really early.
Yep.
I would want to be in there at open, absolutely, and probably a bit before so that you're front of the queue.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. I don't think Curtis probably has anything to say about that, since they don't have those kinds of problems.
I'm pretty safe over here.
Yeah, lucky. Cool. Well, yeah. Did you want to say something?
I do feel sorry for you guys though.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does suck.
We need competition for EB, although I suppose we have the interwebs, which is plenty of competition.
I think JB Hi-Fi has enough competition, yeah, as well as the internet. Yeah.
I guess the one thing though is if you've got a deposit as well on any pre-order game, that might not be there anymore.
Yeah.
So, again, be really on the ball. Like check your order, call someone, rock up to stores, harass people. Try and check the tracking details and stuff as well on your order, because that might be relevant information if you need to kick up a stink. And if they just don't have copies, no matter how much stink you kick up, they won't be there. They won't be able to give you any.
Yeah.
So be on the ball, be ahead of the curve.
I suppose the other thing to remember as well is there's not much point getting angry at the guy behind the desk at the store either, because he's just a guy that works there. I work in retail, and yeah, it sucks to have people yelling at you about things that you can't do anything about. So Just bear that in mind too.
Yeah. Do that.
Cool. So, second subject is the guild support for StarCraft 2 in the Heart of the Swarm. Now, this is coming, in Heart of the Swarm, which is the expansion. Do you know when that's coming out, Patrick?
No one knows. We don't have a release date announced yet, and if we did, we wouldn't give it too much credence because it is coming from Blizzard. However, they are planning to go to beta in the next few months. Now, the StarCraft 2 beta went for quite a while, but there were some interviews some time ago that they were looking at a 6-month beta for Heart of the Swarm as well. So, look, you'll probably be looking at around about the end of this year, start of next year, for the actual release of the official Heart of the Swarm.
Yep.
But, sorry.
Yeah, cool. No, I was just going to say, people are probably wondering why we're talking about this. But it's a pretty big deal for Diablo as well. Do you want to explain why?
Yeah, well, StarCraft 2 is the closest thing in terms of the online system that we're going to have in Diablo 3. So Diablo 3 is BattleNet 2.0, and StarCraft 2 is the only other game that is true BattleNet 2.0. You can still chat with people on WoW if you're playing Diablo or if you're playing StarCraft 2, but you won't be. But WoW does have its own very distinct systems, and it's not built into our system. So anything that happens on Diablo 2.0, sorry, BattleNet 2.0, is a good indicator of what's going to happen in Diablo 3, and just that they're actually saying that they are actually going to really do guild support in a finite time frame is actually really, really good news, because they've always said it's something that they want to do, it's something that they're looking at, but it's just never ever been given this level of credence. So the fact that it's happening, they've got the infrastructure there for StarCraft 2 and they want to keep some consistency across game, this could mean that we actually genuinely get guilds. And for someone who watched the hopes get dashed for guild support being in Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction. I've been waiting a while for guild support in a Diablo game.
Yep.
So they did a lot on that, and they said that they were going to do it as well for Diablo 2. And they if you really find some archive posts, you'll be able to see that they actually had like a guild hall that you could go visit and stuff like that, and they released some screenshots of that.
Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, and it was supposed to be you had a money sync function where you could give gold and it would upgrade your guild hall and it would look prettier and have a bigger shared stash and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's some cool ideas for it, and it just never happened. So hopefully we see it for D3. I'm praying.
Yep. Yeah, having a guild or a clan is definitely a big deal for, I think, these types of games. Like, definitely adds another level to the game. Having a nice community around you like that. Anything to add to that, Curtis?
Yeah, just wondering about the functionalities of what it would actually mean for the game. So you're saying that you'd get a guild hall, so it would be an extra room added to the game with shared stash between all guild members. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that was for Diablo 2. So,
so that was sort
who
of
knows?
Would that be similar for Diablo 3 though?
Well, if you look at Warcraft 3, all clans meant for Warcraft 3 was clan tags, pretty much, and clan chat rooms and stuff like that. But no difference in terms of actual in-game functionality. And so for StarCraft 2, you would expect something similar. I mean, they're not going to have a guild hall in StarCraft 2 because you don't walk anywhere, right? But if they've got that level of support, then I'd like to think we'd at least get that level of support in Diablo 3. Going so far as shared stash and guild halls or like meeting places for where the whole guild can rock up and stuff like that. I mean, that would be absolute Fantasyland cool. I'm not going to guess or say I'm predicting anything as glorious as that. But damn, it would be good if they actually did some stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, that would be awesome. Cool. So I've got a note here that says, I don't know where I got it from, but it says there was about 2 million people in the Diablo 3 beta.
Yeah, that was me.
Right, yeah, that was from you.
It was actually from the the conference call, the investors
Oh, right.
conference call that happened on, I think it was May 8th, and which is a good indicator of, what Blizzard are thinking and stuff like that,
Yep.
where Blizzard fits into other Activision games. But yeah, they were just doing a bit of a recap, and they said that there's about 2 million people in the beta over the life of the beta, which is pretty cool. That's not small, especially considering so many of those were in such a short space of time
Yep.
on that free weekend. But shall I go on to the rest of the announcements?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
It said that Diablo 3 had broken all Blizzard pre-order sales. So they'd broken all their records, including anything WoW related as well.
Yep.
But they were including the WoW annual pass numbers in that. So maybe a little bit fudged of people that just knew that they were going to get a year's worth of WoW and figured I'll just prepay and
Yep.
get a game that I might not play.
Yep.
But then when you factor in that Amazon also announced that Diablo 3 was their most pre-ordered game of all time, that is really cool.
Yep.
I think that is very, very cool. And in fact, I was being a little bit lazy, and I'm going to get a second copy for my wife to play. And I really wasn't so fussed about, when I ordered that or when I picked that up, because she probably won't play day one or day two. But now I'm going to make sure I pre-order it just for that Diablo pride. And I want to buff those numbers up. I want this record to not be broken until Diablo expansion comes out.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it was pretty. I guess it's a pretty big deal. Like, I mean, it makes sense to me. The game, we've been waiting for this game for 10 years or more. There's pretty much everyone I know that I used to play games with, back in high school is playing this, and a lot of those people, they don't touch video games anymore. They're too busy, having wives and children to play video games. So yeah, I think it's a pretty big deal, this game. So I'm not surprised that we're breaking pre-order. What are they? Pre-order things.
Records.
Yeah, that's it. Records. Yeah, my brain works really well sometimes. Anyway, cool. Anything to say on that, Curtis?
Nah, you guys pretty much covered it.
Cool. Now the next subject I had to talk about was a blue post that I found, courtesy of blueposts.com or something. I'll find it. It's d3sanctuary.com. It was an explanation on deleting your Battle.net folder before launch. Now there was a big thing about this. People getting confused, delete my Battle.net folder. Isn't that going to screw up StarCraft for me? But in actual fact, it won't. Apparently, in this blue post, it says that your Battle.net folder doesn't have anything to do with WoW or StarCraft. It's a new thing. Where does it say it? Basically, it's about the beta, so it's really only being used for the beta, and they do suggest that you delete it as like a just in case thing. But if you only paid the beta, I think it was after November, they said you probably won't be affected. But yeah, it's a good one, so the link will be in the show notes anyway if you want to have a read of that, just in case you're worried about what's going on with that. So did you read this one, Curtis?
Nah, I didn't really.
Yeah. Patrick?
I had already done it, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty...
But I don't want problems, And once this goes live, I wanted to make sure everything was fixed.
Yeah, it's definitely worth reading if you had the beta, because it just explains exactly what the story is. So I just thought that was worth mentioning, even though there's not all that much we can really say about it.
Yeah, I just read the title and I was like, well, I've already done that and I don't have any other Blizzard games, so I think I'm sweet.
Yeah, cool. All right, no worries. Well, next thing. So this popped up today. A pre-order for the Diablo 3 game Where is my page? Here it is. It was on Ink Gamers. For PS3, popped up on a website in somewhere, a Polish website.
Poland.
Yeah. And then was promptly pulled down, I'm guessing, after Blizzard found out about it. So yeah, I don't know, I guess someone's just, jumping the gun. We always kind of see this kind of thing. Do you have an opinion on this one, Patrick?
Well, they've said that they're planning to do console stuff, or they're trying it out, and that they haven't said that it's a definite yet. But if it works, then they'll definitely do it. And they've got a team of people that are, or they had dedicated to it, and then they got absorbed into the broader development just to get the PC game out. So presuming that the game's well and truly gone gold now, I'd expect that they would have gone back to doing their console-y stuff. But yeah, I mean it's good news as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I just want more people playing the best game of all time. So, but I'm not reading too much into it, though. Of course, it's a random Polish site accidentally did something. I mean, they could have been meaning to post a totally different game, and that's why it got pulled down, because they just had the work experience kit on it or something.
Yeah, who knows? Or maybe it was some guy on his last day at work and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something funny." Who knows?
Some stupid nerds around the other side of the world, like Australia, will be talking about this.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see a console version of this game. Yeah. With the whole, I mean, this sort of blends over to the WSAD controller conversation, because I don't see how they're going to do it any other way on a console. It's going to have to be that way, because if you're using a controller, then there's just no other way to control the game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, and what happens with the PC version after that comes out. Did you have anything to say on this one, Curtis?
They could do it with Xbox Connect.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought,
and you
isn't it?
just point where you'd want the cursor to go, or like point at the skill button, etc. That could actually work really well.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with that. It's okay. Cool.
So, did you have any? You didn't have anything else to say, though. I know you're the console guy. You're our console rep, Curtis.
Yeah, but it's a PC game first and foremost. So it's like, why would you? And I've got a PC, so why would I want to downgrade to console? If you know what I mean.
Whoa.
I mean, like, it's built for PC. So why would I want to jump on the thing that it's built second for? If that makes sense.
Did you see any of the interviews where they talked about it?
Nah.
Oh, they had a good one at BlizzCon 2011. I think it was, or if it was around about that time, anyways. And they had, actually no, it was around about that time, but it wasn't BlizzCon. It was just Jay talking to the what do you call them? The journalists, so to speak.
Yep.
And he was saying that this is something we're looking at, but we're not going to do it unless it feels like it was made for that system. And if it, right now it's designed for PC and it's all about PC, but there's nothing worse than when you port a game and you can feel, and the game feels like it was meant for something else, and you're stuck using it through, this crap system. So I really like that they had that focus, and that they were, we will not develop it, we will not release it unless it feels like it's native to that system.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe that's why they've, sort of had, no promises, because there's no promises that they're going to actually get it to feel fluid. I just can't imagine how it could possibly feel as fluid as it would on a PC, unless they start bringing back the old Nintendo mouse, mat, and all that stuff.
Well, just like with all the key bindings and using a mouse, like, it just makes it so easy to play. But I don't see how you could get that much of control out of a controller.
Yep.
I just don't see how it would work as
It's going
well.
to be interesting.
one of the fellows in chat, Segax, I don't know how to pronounce it, unfortunately. You'll correct me, I'm sure. He was saying that we need to get a PSP Vita version, which that might be taking it just one more step further. But I tell you what, I do really want to see. I want to see someone port Diablo.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we lost
Diablo
him.
1, I think he was saying.
Yeah, yeah.
That would actually be pretty cool.
We'll
Onto
assume.
like a little Game Boy.
Actually, that would be awesome. If I could get Diablo 1 on my iPhone, I would be happy. There is so many
That could
crappy
probably
iPhone
work.
games.
Because what, you've only got like the attack. You only got basic attack, really.
Yeah, it's just
Got-
attack and like, yeah.
Oh no, you have spells.
Oh,
You
there
got
you are.
spells, but
You're back.
Yeah. Sorry, it was like half a second. Sorry.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, with that, we'll jump into some gameplay discussion. Now, I wanted to talk about this because there's just so many posts on Reddit and forums with people asking, about different classes and what classes everyone's going to play. And I even had a conversation with my brother this afternoon about, the different classes and stuff. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's trying to decide. I think a lot of people have already decided, but not everyone. So I thought we'd have a bit of a more of sort of in-depth discussion about the different classes and what we're playing. So I guess we can start with Patrick. So you were playing, was it the Witch Doctor?
Yeah, and by the way, if I cut out again, I'll give you a call back. But
All right, no worries.
so I'm in an awkward situation in that I've got a very young infant who is going to be the most nerdly baller of all time down the track. But for now, he's a real pain in my neck and inhibits my gaming. So sometimes I'm just stuck, and I'm stuck like rocking him or something in like a thing that you push.
Yep.
Or I've got him and he's like sort of entertained, but you need to really keep an eye on him. So for that reason, I actually selected the Witch Doctor. And that's just because it's a little bit less punishing if you're forced to bolt away from your computer,
Wow,
Sure.
that was the reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now, I've always kind of liked summon classes though. Like it's,
All right.
so it wasn't that big a leap, but I was more range based. I was Rogue in Diablo 1, I was Amazon in Diablo 2, and I probably would have gone Demon Hunter had it not been for that. But
Yep.
my second class in D2 that I really sunk serious crazy time into was a Druid. So it feels pretty familiar. It feels pretty good.
Yep. And so with playing the beta, you obviously had a go at the Demon Hunter and, tried a few of the skills. Do you think sort of what kind of build you're going to be going for? Are you going to try and do the zombie dog circle of life with sacrifice?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I've got this iPhone app that allows you to do the skill calculator. Not iPhone, because I don't use an iPhone. But on my Samsung Galaxy S2, which I feel really elitist saying, has a little Diablo 3 handbook and allows you to like build skills in that and build a whole build, and you can see what it does and whatnot. And that was really cool. And that's when I came up with the whole the zombie dog circle of life sacrifice thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And and I gave it a go in the beta, and it one slight downside about it was that at least in the beta, the Witch Doctor felt the most cruisy.
Okay.
If I was playing Demon Hunter, I felt like I needed a Red Bull. Where when I was playing Witch Doctor, I felt like I needed a beer.
I would definitely agree with the fact that as the Witch Doctor in the beta, I think I took the least amount of damage because I was always standing behind a line of zombie dogs spitting poison.
Yeah. There was one skill, what was it? The leaping spiders?
Yep.
Did you use that skill at all?
They were really fun, actually.
They were so easy because I remember you just walk to the edge so that you could only just see the enemies, and then you throw them to the edge of the screen, and then they can jump like another half screen. So you just sit there holding it down, just spamming it, and about 10 seconds later, everything's dead. Don't even need to move.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And he's got a few things that don't actually take damage. At least I don't think they do.
Yep.
like with the zombie dogs and your gargantuan, yeah, they're permanent. They don't have a time on them, and obviously they take damage and can die. But when you get your fetishes and or if you go with the rune that allows you to summon 3 zombies, or there's a rune that allows your corpse spider, I think it's corpse spider, to be one big spider that's permanent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't seem. Oh, I can't see any indication that they would take any damage. So that'll be interesting. And like you might be able to cheese a particular boss or something with something like that, where they can't hit you as long as you keep running.
Yep.
And but these things that can't take damage will wear them down. So
Yep.
I'll be very interested to see how he plays out.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think that's sort of the end sentence to every conversation about a particular class. It'll be interesting to see how it plays.
Yep.
Cool. Did you have a second favorite class, or
It would. Well, for hardcore, I plan to play monk.
Yep.
And that's because I really like when I'm playing, it's 100% attention. Like if it's when I get to that stage and I'm going to play hardcore and everything's going to be on it, it's the monk I think really has the most the highest skill ceiling.
Yep.
Demon Hunter would be up there,
Okay.
but I think the monk has the highest skill ceiling, especially when you're playing as a party, because it's not just going to be, like you've got your 3-hit combos and you need to get your third one to hit right on time.
Yep.
But then you've also got, like your mantras, which you want to make sure that you're mindful of all your party at the same time so that they're all taking effect at once.
Yep.
And yeah, little things like that I think are going to be very, very interesting. And I think he'll have the highest skill ceiling.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays.
Yeah.
Cool. So Curtis, you're playing a barbarian, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Just heavy defensive. Like I think about, so I've got all my skills and passives already sorted. What I'm gonna do. I think about 4 of them. No, 6 of them. Yeah, 6 of them are defensive.
Yep.
And then, wait, is it? I don't know. I think it's like 60% of my skills are defensive, and the other ones are offensive.
Yep.
But I'm gonna be using no fury spenders at all, except for one of the shouts, the buff battle cry.
Okay.
That's the only one I'm using, and I'm gonna use that the passive that puts your damage up while at max fury.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just be generating, and then just be get that buff. I think it's 25% extra damage.
Yep.
And then just frenzy, so I'll be high single target damage and just defense. So
That sounds like a good way to lower the skill cap. You don't have
yeah,
to,
exactly. Yeah, don't have to
just gonna frenzy everything.
yeah,
Man,
but
frenzy
no,
is a
it'd
cool
actually
skill.
be quite hard because I think there's 4 skills on cooldown.
Yep.
Or something like that. So I'm gonna have to juggle the cooldowns and make sure I'm hitting them at the right time and not forgetting skills.
Yep.
Because I'm using all 3 of the shouts as well.
Right.
It'll make it. It won't be that easy.
Yep.
Looking
Yep.
forward to the challenger.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, frenzy is a really cool skill. I remember there's that PvP video that a few people have done some commentary of, and it's got some like max level barbarians, obviously with a bunch of extra attack speed, and when they do frenzy, it's just ridiculous like how fast they're attacking. It's pretty cool. It's the new double swing,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
exciting. Have you got a second favorite class, Curtis?
Probably the Witch Doctor, just because of how unique it is.
Yep.
Really, like all the damage over time spells and
Yep.
and the pets and everything. Like, I remember a while back I tried looking at how many ways you can deal damage at the same time, like how many damage stacks you can get going.
Yep.
The Witch Doctor just had an incredible amount that he could do compared to the other classes.
Yeah, it's definitely
So-
one
so,
of those. Yeah, one of those classes. Like I remember starting it out, and you have that spit at the beginning of the game, and it feels really flimsy and not that strong. And then as you unlock, you go up to level 6 or whatever, and you get yourself, like your 3 different types of skills. You've got your zombie arms and your spit and something else, and you add them all together. Oh, the zombie dogs. You add them all together, and you start doing like a huge amount of damage over time. While you just kind of stand there spitting at people, which is a bit rude. But anyway, cool. We already talked about the Witch Doctor. Have you got another one? Is there one?
One thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a videos released today, like one on each class of Jay Wilson,
Yep.
describing a few strategies and stuff. And something I thought real interesting about the Demon Hunter is he said that a lot of her or his skills are in straight lines or in cones, like the
Okay.
area of effect. So he
Yep.
said pretty much you have to have what is it called? Evade? No, the vault.
Vault. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
To make sure your positioning is correct so that you can get the best amount of damage out of that line.
Yep.
That makes sense, yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So
Yep.
previously I didn't really have much interest for the Demon Hunter, but it sounds like it's going to take a bit of skill.
They've really taken the way the skill system is and turned traditional systems upside down, because the thought of using a skill that you get in the first few levels, like at end game, to me is just really odd.
Yeah.
'Cause in every other game, all the best skills you don't get until you get to the highest level. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays at the end. Yes.
Yeah, that was something that at least I get the feeling, I get the sentiment that they're doing a better job of making those early skills actually last and be worthwhile later in the game. I mean, it might not be so. I hope I'm right though, because everything we've seen has sort of indicated that every skill just about is supposed to scale really well.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's great. I think, like they've said, a million times, there's no point, putting in skills that people don't use. That's just a waste of time. So, yeah, it's awesome. Cool. Well, I myself am going to play the monk. Yeah, I'm really excited about the monk. He just looks really cool. I think that's really, what made me decide as soon as I saw fist fighting. It's that's it for me. I think my favorite character in League of Legends, if anyone knows that, is Lee Sin. He's a monk as well, and it's just a really fun mechanic. Just really quick attacks, melee attacks, and the zipping around with I forgot what the skill's called, but the one that lets you zip across the screen is awesome.
Dashing strike.
Yeah, that's it. Dashing strike. Yeah. It looks like a lot of fun. And I like characters that have a really good mix of defensive and offensive skills. Because even though it doesn't seem like it at the beginning, those defensive skills are definitely essential towards the end of the game. Yeah, I'm really excited about the monk. It's going to be awesome. Yes. So, yeah, what classes haven't we talked about? The wizard, and is that it?
Is this a good time for me to do my skill combo for the wizard?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, might as well get into it. So, I'll just whip up the skill page so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's only 2 skills. Oh, there's 1 skill and 1 passive.
Okay.
Maybe we can get it up on stream anyways. Is that too much?
The picture? Yeah, I can definitely organise that.
Doesn't need to be too pretty, just pull up the site.
I like it when it's pretty.
Yes,
see.
I know.
You know what ones they are? Energy armor with the force armor rune?
I do now.
Yeah.
Well, I know one of them. Wizard. Whoops. What I want to do is go to skill calculator. Where is it? Skill calculator. Wizard. So what was it? Was there a passive in there?
Yep. Galvanizing ward.
Galvanizing ward. Galvanizing.
Yeah, I'll start explaining it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
pretty much energy armor Costs 25 arcane power. Increases your armor by 65%, which is quite a huge number. Um, but it drops your maximum arcane power by 20. That's the only downfall of it, but I mean, you can get other passives to increase it and stuff like that, so it's not too bad.
Ah, I found
Uh,
it. Energy armor.
yeah. Um, and this rune means that you can never take more than 35% of your maximum life in one hit.
What was
So you
the
can
which rune was it again? Sorry.
force armor.
Force
It's the
armor.
second to last one.
Yep, got it.
Yeah. So if you read that, it just says incoming attacks that would deal more than 35% of your maximum life are reduced to deal 35% of your max life instead. So you can't get one hit by anything. And pretty much what you want to do is get as low amount of armor as you can and life. And then if you look at the galvanizing ward, you gain 310 life per second.
So is galvanizing ward a defensive skill?
It's a passive.
Oh, that was the passive. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the idea is to have your life, your max life, as low as possible, so that 35% is as low as possible.
Ah.
So
Oh,
if
okay.
you've only got 1,000 life, you can only take 350 damage at once. And then if you look at the passive, you gain 310 life per second.
Yep. So you
So
basically.
you'll just shoot up to max life like all the time. And for your itemization, you just get items that have life regen, and that's it. That's all you have to worry about. So you don't need to worry about getting resistances or armor or dodge. Max life, you don't need to worry about any of that. You just worry about just that one stat, life regen, and you're sweet.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder if
Yeah,
there's going to be um, any exceptions to the force armor thing, because that's
yeah,
like a boss hitting you for 350 life is pretty funny.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the reason I wanted to talk about this because it just seems a bit overpowered to me, really. Like,
Yep.
because usually every other class has to focus on like 3 different stats or more for their defense, but with this build, you only have to worry about the life regen, and then everything else you can put into offensive.
Yep. I suppose it may come down to, how realistic it is to keep your life down to, like 1,000 HP. Um, I suppose I can't see why that's not possible. You just make sure you don't have anything with plus health. I don't know.
Yeah, it just me. The bad thing is though is that if you took 3 hits at once,
Right. Yep.
if your regen was fast enough, like I've seen some of the regen affixes, and some of them are like 500 plus
Yep.
stuff like that. And so if you stacked that on just 4 items, you
Yep.
could get 1,000 per second. So
What if you were to also use like diamond skin on top of that? Because doesn't that just diamond skin just absorbs an amount of damage, doesn't it?
yeah, like that could be a backup.
Because yeah, exactly. Like if you get stuck in a pack, you just whack it on just in case.
Yeah,
Because that's really, when you're fighting a boss, that's not going to happen because they're not going to hit you more than once unless they have some kind of skill that hits you
yeah,
a
that's
bunch
true.
of times.
The one that I like for defense personally is Wave of Force,
Yep.
because you knock everyone back, slow them down, you can rune it to make them stunned, and then it does 200% weapon damage as well.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, because diamond doesn't help you if you can't path your way out of there.
yeah, that's true as well.
Right. Yep. Yeah, you're going to be
And
stuck.
that was one thing that I was watching. I think I was watching Force do his super hardcore playthroughs, and yeah, he had his demon hunter nearly get killed when he just he was fine except for the fact that he couldn't walk his way out of this corner with all these skeletons closing in. Of course, Force forced his way out, so he was okay.
Well, he's got that special power. No, not funny. Okay, cool.
Sorry, I was talking to someone else.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Cool. Any other thoughts of the wizard? Why is the wizard not in your 1 and 2, Patrick?
It's tough competition, man.
Yeah.
There's, uh, it's definitely up there, and I I remember watching the early stuff when they just released the wizard, and you could see disintegrate, you could see slow time, and it just looked ridiculously good. Um, it'll get on there eventually, I think.
Yep.
Um, but it's just just the stiff competition, I think.
Yeah, definitely. My choice of class seems to revolve a lot around the amount of damage I'm able to do with them, pretty early on anyway. So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. What about,
Have you
I
guys
just
yeah, sorry.
have you guys seen the polls or any polls on the popularity? Like,
Um,
pretty much every poll I've seen has had Barbarian and Wizard at the top,
yep,
Yep.
followed by I think it's Monk and Demon Hunter, and then Witch Doctor last.
yep,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen the Demon Hunter coming in last as well. I think that last
yeah.
spot's in tough competition.
I mean, I can understand that. I think for people who, didn't play the beta, it makes sense because when I first saw it, just having the two different resources, it's a bit too complicated. For me when I
It
first
is.
saw it. Of course, when I played it, I realized, no, it's not really complicated at all. It's really easy. But when I saw it, I was just like, what? That's a bit weird. Okay, cool, no worry. Well, I'm gonna play the monk. I'll be over here. Thanks. You know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was just a bit weird. Um, so I can understand that, and yeah,
I don't understand why they didn't just have a generator and a spender, or do something like cooldowns on discipline spells and resource for the rage spells or hatred spells rather. Just make it a bit more simplified.
I think the
yeah.
point is the complexity a little bit.
Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
It's probably
Or,
something that you won't get until you get to like level 60 in a demon hunter. You probably figure it out then, maybe.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, now I get it.
there was something I was thinking about on this topic of like skill selections, and for just when you guys were talking before about like if you didn't feel like your one defensive skill was enough, you could add diamond skin or whatever. And I think that's going to become something that you're going to do really commonplace when you get to the point where when you're farming an area and you're farming it comfortably, and you're going to be in those situations where I'm not really likely to die, so I'm only going to have one particular skill, and that's going to be set to defensive. And once you've got one defensive skill and you're very comfortable with that, and that means you've got 5 offensive skills. It depends on the class, of course, but you kind of get to the point where you're a little bit struggling for what you're actually going to be clicking all the time. I mean, it's not a hard rule, but you will be a little bit spoilt for choice. And I've noticed that every class has got at least something that will do some sort of damage output that won't actually slow the character down. So, like for the Witch Doctor, it's obviously summons, but everyone's got at least like the familiar for the wizard or
Yep.
the companion for the demon hunter that will give you that little bit of extra DPS, which is so that you have a skill slot that is never actually redundant. If you've got a skill slot you don't need, then good for you. You get to summon something, and I think
Yep.
that's great.
Yep.
Yeah. I think one thing that's overlooked is the Hydra. Because people look at that skill and they go 28% weapon damage, that's nothing, that's a waste.
Yep.
But I think in the last patch, um, Hydra used to cost 40 arcane power or 45, and they dropped it all the way down to 15, which is like nothing.
Yep.
Oh,
And it
really?
lasts 15 seconds, and each bolt does 28. So
Yep.
if it lands one bolt per second over 15 seconds, that's actually quite a lot of damage for only spending 15.
Yep.
And then, like you're saying, Patrick, it's like a passive damage output. You just cast it once, and then you sweep for 15 seconds.
Yep. I think
So yeah.
the Hydra is probably one of those skills that if you haven't used it, you don't realize how useful it is. Like I remember in Diablo 2, my very first main character was a sorceress, and anytime there was some monster that I couldn't kill, you could just, or a pack of monsters, you just stand around a corner and you cast the Hydra in the corner, and the Hydra just takes them down over time with no danger to your character. So
Yeah, it's actually like a defensive skill as well.
yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. So is there anything else you guys wanted to say about classes? Any other cool things you wanted to mention?
No, that's pretty
No?
much it, eh?
Patrick?
No, good for now. Good for now.
Cool. I'm sure we'll discover heaps of other things once we actually get to play the game.
Yeah, I still think there's
yeah.
some synergies to be worked out. That in between classes there'll be stuff that it may not be, you may not pick up trying to theory craft, but in practicality it'll be really cool.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so on from there, the last topic, just wanted to talk about Easter egg predictions. Patrick, do you have any predictions for the Easter egg? Is there going to be a cow level?
I saw a tweet that was a leak today.
Oh.
Something very much on this topic, but I did not click because I did not want to know.
Yeah.
Nice willpower.
But do you have you got a guess? Can you guess what it is about?
I think if they didn't have a cow level, it would just feel a little bit wrong. They had cows in Diablo 1 that you could click on and stuff, and cows have sort of been a little bit consistent there. So for them to not do cow level would be, just not quite right.
Yep. I did see some data mined files, which we all know is not the most reliable source, but indicating that it may be perhaps not a cow level, but something else, without spoiling it. But who knows? I mean, I think it would be a bit weird if it was something else and not cows. Yeah. Do you have any?
How cool would it be if they redid the Cow King as like an act boss, but as an Easter egg, obviously? That would be
Yeah.
pretty cool, eh?
You mean if they gave him, some cool skills and that kind of
Yeah,
thing?
made him twice the size of a normal monster and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like some
most-
proper unique animations and things.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
own unique model
Yep. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
with a big crown on his head. That'd be good.
One thing that I thought I mentioned in this is that, and we sort of talked about it a bit in the first episode, but the black mushroom, I reckon that's probably going to be part of some kind of Easter egg, because it's a bind on account item. I don't think it would be like in Diablo 1. I don't think it's going to be, some kind of elixir that's going to give you plus to, whatever, attributes. I reckon it's going to be something, like the Wurt's leg of Diablo 3 that you add with something else. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But it's exciting. I'm very
I'm gonna
excited.
have to pull a couple of ones out of chat here. I've got Iridium, who's very keen on ponies, something the pony level or the like. Although he has indicated that he just likes saying ponies, which is fair enough. Totally get that. We've got Kugan, and I might get ripped for pronunciation here, saying Lord of the Cows. Seraphim talking about our Cow King boss as similar to an act boss, like Udder of Death, which I'm a fan of as well.
The which?
So
Sorry,
yeah,
I
anyway,
missed
that's what our
Sorry, can you say that
Udder
again?
of Death.
Oh, Udder of Death.
Yeah, UDDER
Right.
of Death.
What kind of skill animation would that have?
I'm just
That would be
imagining
too
now.
funny.
Yeah. White bolts heading across the screen. Oh dear.
hadn't thought of that part, but yeah.
Cool. Well, before we close it out, did you guys want to... Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to talk about?
I'm just really sad that these items haven't been updated yet. I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that sucks. Been
Have to wait till
waiting for that.
tomorrow.
Yes, we'll
And
find out tomorrow.
there's gonna be builds that totally revolve around particular items and particular combination of items.
I was so looking forward to seeing the unique affixes that they come up with, or that they've come up with.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they haven't released them yet, but we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, there's going to be so much more to talk about when this game is actually out. and I'm really looking forward to it.
Because
So
you guys saw the screenshots of the item guide, from the CE edition. You guys see
No.
that?
no, I
No?
haven't
Well,
seen it.
there
Have you
was.
seen it?
I looked through there. It was really blurry, but you could make some of it out. And I was looking at the Immortal King set and the set bonuses for having the whole set. And
Oh,
one of the things you got was life gain per fury spent. So I was like,
oh,
man,
really?
that's crazy. Like, if you go a full-on fury spending build, then you're just going to be regenerating life
It's like a
fire attacks.
yeah, it's almost like a variation on Lifesteal, but working on how much fury you spend. That's interesting.
Yeah, like if
That debunks your build there, Curtis. If you've got that item set.
it does, doesn't it? So I'm not going to be aiming for IKs.
Or a whirlwind would be bloody well OP in that scenario.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I guess
Possibilities are endless.
I suppose that's good news for any fury generating build. Yeah. Well, you just said that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Cool.
One thing I wanted to
Yep.
mention quickly. Did you guys get to see that New Zealander's video about the economy in Diablo 3? His predictions?
Yes.
Yes.
He's
What?
considering he's a Kiwi. I think it's relevant.
I think there is actually we're probably going to actually have him on the show next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't tell you guys that, but well, it's pretty much only I've been in contact with him, and he should be on the show next week. So we can talk about it. Talk about it then.
Whoa. So we're gonna have to keep Curtis?
No. Gonna even out the odds.
I have the ratios are going right out. This isn't working.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite funny because I watched that video today and me and my flatmate were watching it and he goes, "Hey, my name's Paradise," introduced himself. We were like, "Paradise, I recognise that name." Then he kept going and we were like, "Man, he sounds like the same guy." And then we looked up his YouTube account and said he's from New Zealand and we were like, "Far out. This guy we used to play back in Halo 2 together, which was a good couple of years ago now." And we're like, "Oh, that's pretty small world."
Small country, more like.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. All right.
We should go over what he said a little bit though, because I thought he had some interesting stuff.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Just quickly, so he talked about all the different things that you could get, and he talked about gold, and that gold would be very overvalued right upon release because there's just none of it. So you could, its price on the real money auction house should be pretty stupid high that is. And then generally that he talked about all the different gold sinks that there would be, and ones that were finite in terms of. Like, for example, expanding your stash and leveling up your artisans, and then ones that weren't finite. So, for example, spending your gold on trying to craft decent stuff that may not turn out to be decent.
Yep.
Things like that. And that once people en masse had capped out their finite ones, gold would start to devalue really fast.
Yep.
Which is kind of, I think everyone sort of knew that, but if you go on, you should check it out, and we'll include a link below, won't we, John?
Yeah, definitely.
He went on to say some really different, interesting things. He mentioned the point that I made in the first podcast about potentially really expensive items being sold on the gold auction house as opposed to the real money.
Yep.
And he also brought up a point that made me think a little bit about it in terms of the other items that you need for crafting, in terms of also the the crafting maps or something it is. I can't remember exactly.
Yep.
Which pretty much teaches your blacksmith, for example, the particular recipe that he needs to know.
Yep.
And that got me thinking to a point again we were talking about last week, or on Saturday, which was in terms of if you've got a guild. And trying to build up your diversity in the guild, and considering you've got these recipes, I think that a really efficient guild would probably be actually going for, rather than trying to build up diversity, just get one guy with the best blacksmith of all time.
Yep.
Who has all of the stuff, and as long as you've got somebody that it's on an account that the whole group has access to, or it's somebody who's pretty much ever present online and ever willing as well, then every time you get anything that's going to be able to help him level his blacksmith specifically, then you send it that way, and he in turn pumps out all the stuff.
Yep, that's definitely a cool idea in theory. Although,
Yes.
having been in, a few different World of Warcraft guilds, I'd say it would definitely take a very dedicated guild to make that happen.
Yeah, and it might only work, for, I mean, like for the guy who's making the stuff, there's no cost except for his bit of time.
Right.
And if he has an inner circle of maybe 6 or 7 super loyal guild members who are willing to give him stuff because they know that they're friends with him beyond the guild in any case, then it would already be a pretty powerful tool in its own right.
Yeah, definitely.
You could even just do it on small scale.
Yeah.
Because like we were planning on doing that anyway. Just one of my flatmates, we were just going to give him gold and just get him to level his blacksmith, and we weren't going to touch it at all. Then if we wanted an item, like if say we just got really unlucky on armors, we could just be like, hey mate, can you craft me an armor? My one's pretty crap.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Yeah, that'd definitely. I suppose that'd work out well. If you had a group of 4 or 5 people that are pretty close knit. Cool. All right, no worries. Well, I guess we will call it there. So if you want to catch us, you can find us on our YouTube, which is youtube.com/Diabloherald. You can also watch us record the shows at twitchtv.com. Twitchtv.com. I said that last time. Twitch.tv /Diabloherald. We are on iTunes as well. So, if you want an audio version to listen to while you're working to walk, while you're working to walk, while you're walking to work, like I do, you can catch us on iTunes. You can also contact us on the D3 Down Under forums, which we hang out on a lot. Twitter.com/Diabloherald. Give us a tweet if there's anything you want us to talk about, or if you want to ask any questions. You can also email us at diabloherald@gmail. Patrick has a YouTube, which he puts us some cool videos on. Do you want to tell us about that real quick?
Yes, I have youtube.com/ScottishMoo. That's SCOTTISHMOO. And I've got a really cool new video that I've been spending a lot of time on, which is about to go up, which is all about cooperative play, different styles of cooperative play, and discussing each class, playing as the class and playing with the class, which I think is going to be really required reading for anyone who's got those friends that aren't as into the game as they are. So that's something that's really cool. But generally I do some generic things on Diablo and StarCraft, and I do have a particular achievement bent because I'm a bit of an achievement junkie. So I'm that guy who actually cares about the stuff that you don't care about, and you can definitely find dedicated stuff for that there. But please do check me out, youtube.com/ScottishMoo.
I'm there right now. It's great.
Sweet.
Enjoying the Scottish mooness. Cool.
Oh, and you can also grab me on Twitter at HighlanderSC. And I definitely tweet anything that I see that's Diablo or StarCraft related that I think is worthy and warrants it. So you can definitely follow me there as well.
Cool. So it is 20 hours and 39 minutes until we can play this game. This time tomorrow we would have been playing it for 3 hours and an amount of minutes. I'm pretty damn excited. And thanks for listening to us. See you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks.